first, let's discuss about the Boolean values. Okay, and we'll get into input output statements. Okay, then we'll see the operators. So this is what is the agenda for this today's training. Okay, so let's see how much we are able to complete. Okay. So when you take it as bool, okay, so bool is true or false value. Okay, so when do we go in for true or false value is like suppose if you take some options if you take your registration form, so you'll be having an option at the end, right? Saying I agree for this. So you'll select the checkbox. So when you select the checkbox, it means it is true. Okay. If you don't select the checkbox, it's like false. Okay. So if the checkbox is not yet selected, your submit button will not be enabled, right? So when you want to have these kind of values to be processed in Python, so we can go in for bool. Okay, bool stands for boolean, and boolean when you take it, just take it as bool, it's going to be true or false, right? So this true or false when you take it. So in when you take it as numeric, that is integer, float, or string, so we specify those as values, but this true or false is actually keywords in Python. Okay. So when I say like I give valid is a variable I'm creating. So valid is equal to, I just say true. Okay. So when you look into this statement, so true is, uh, can you see a change in the color? It's red in color. Okay. So this means it's a keyword. Okay. So if I say valid, if I print valid or print the type of it, so it says true. And let me say print type of valid. See, it says bool. Okay. So when I say valid is false, here I print the value. Okay. So now it says false here. So when you want to have true or false kind of value, okay, then you can go in for this bool data type. Okay. Uh, so any doubts with this? Okay. So now here, when you take it in Python, I said that we have input and output statement. So we have just looked into where do we use this boolean is even in our conditional statements we use boolean. Okay, when we compare two values, so in those cases we get a result as boolean, true or false. So like for example, if you have a value in age, okay, in age variable, if you're comparing it whether it is greater than 18 or greater than 21, so this is a logical operation we do. So for that also we get the return value as true or false. Okay. So that we have to remember. So that we'll discuss again when we get into operators. Okay. So here, when you take it in Python, we have input and output statements. Okay. So output statement, we have already looked into it. So, right, so that is print. The basic print we have tried. So when you say print off and you give some value or you give some variable, it just prints a value of it, or it prints the, when we use type, it's giving the data type of it. So we have seen how to use only one parameter, right? So here, when I say, let's say, for example, print, and I'm not passing any value. And when you say a bracket also here, you can see that IntelliSense. Can you see the IntelliSense that is displayed? So print and it is showing the parameters. Okay. So by this also we can understand that what are all the values we have to pass for this function. So we can pass a value, we can pass a separator, we can pass end, okay, we can pass the file, the default file is sys.stdout, which means our standard output. Our standard output is going to be our screen, right? So, or you can store the output into a file, okay? And we'll be looking into files in our later sessions, okay? So, and you have flush is equal to false. By default, it's false. So, if you want to flush immediately once the result is shown, you can say true, okay? So object or the value when you take it, so that's going to be printed. Whatever value we give, it's going to be printed. So what is a separator is, you can specify what is going to be the separator that has to be printed between the values or the objects what we pass in. Okay. So like for example, I say print hello, and I say uh, welcome, comma to comma Python. You see here when I pass few other arguments also, so it's continuously printed. And by default, the separator, okay, the separator is space. So instead of the space, if I want to replace it with any other operator or any other value, so then what I can do is I can use this SCP option. So we were looking into SCP, right? So this SCP option we can use. So SCP equal to, and here I say I want a dot or I want a hyphen to make it more visible. Okay. Can you see here? Hello hyphen welcome hyphen to hyphen Python is printed. That is the separator between the strings, the values when you take it. It's replaced, that is the space is replaced with a hyphen, whatever argument you pass. Okay. So am I clear? Any doubts? So then we have the end option. Okay. So by default, what is our end of value? Can anybody guess? So if I just say hello, what is our end of string? What is printed at the end? We say any value?
No, nothing. It's null.
Okay. Actually, there is a, we don't see any value, but in the next line only you get the prompt, right? So which means you have a enter key, okay? End line. End line is there at the end, okay? So if you want to replace it, okay. So if you want to give any other value as your end character, okay. See, let's say print hello. Then I say end is equal to a space. Okay. Here we are using the same shell, right? So let us store this code into a file and we'll try. If you want to create a file that is programmed, and if you want to save it in Python ideally, then you can go for new file and you can type in your code here and then you can execute it. So let me say here print hi. Then I'm going to print hello. Now I save this file. Okay. So I'm going to save this file into my folder. Let me just say samples here. Now inside this, I just say output statement. Okay. So by default, it's going to be stored as output statement stmt.py. Okay. The file extension for Python is going to be py. Now, how do we execute this code is you can just go for run and you can select run module, or the shortcut key is going to be F5. Okay, F5 is the shortcut key. Now here when you look into the output, it has printed hi, and then in the next line it has printed hello. Now if I want this to be on the same line, okay, but I want to have different print statements. Okay, so in that case what you can do is you can go for end is equal to, and you can say space. Okay, now let me execute this code. And you see here it is printed on the same line, right? Okay, or you can use the predefined, okay, escape sequence as we say. So you can use slash n, slash t. Okay, all these you can use. Slash n refers to new line. Slash t refers to tab space. Okay, if you want to have a tab space, you can just say slash t. Can you see here? You have so many spaces. That is a tab space printed. Okay. So here, when you say it as file, okay, as we were discussing, std out is going to be the default screen that is going to be our default output file. Okay. When we want to specify any particular file, we need to create a file stream and we can specify that. So that we'll look into when we go in for file handling. Okay. So, and flush is always what happens is the data will be captured in a buffer. Okay, so first it is captured in a buffer and then it is flushed onto the screen. Okay, so after each and every print, if you want the data to be flushed, okay, or after your print, so immediately if you want to flush it, so in that case, what you can do is um, you can go in for flush is equal to true. Okay, so these are all the options we have in print statement. So next is we're going to look into input statement. Okay, so when you take it as input statement, so when you want to take some inputs from the user, end user, okay. So till now we were just directly creating the variables and assigning some values to it. Now instead of that, if I want to take an input, like let's say for example, I'm going to take the name of the user. Okay, so I say name is equal to input. This input string here actually you can specify a prompt. This is called as prompt. So if you don't specify the prompt also it is accepted, which means the prompt is optional. Okay. So if you want to specify a prompt for the user, then you can specify the prompt over here. Let me say enter your name. Okay, this is my prompt. Okay. Then I want to print the value hi and the name of the person. Okay. Hello. Let's execute this. It is giving you enter your name, okay, and it is waiting. You're not getting the prompt again. Can you see here? So it's you're not seeing the prompt. So which means it is waiting for our input. Okay. So let me say my name here. Okay. See it says hi Menaka, hello. Right? So this is how we have to take the input from the user. So in this Python shell. And here, when you want to take, let's say, for example, I want to take the age of the person. Okay. So here, so what is the data type for age? because by default, input will always uh, give you the string as an output. So you can even check the data type for this. So let's say print type of name. In case if you want to comment any lines, that is if you don't want the code to be executed, or if you want to give some informations about the code, then we go in for this comment line. Okay, we'll discuss about this. Now I'm just commenting this age, which means it will not be executed. Okay, so it says enter your name. I say John, and I give, see, can you see the data type is str? Says the data type is str, which means input always gives you a string. But if I want to consider this input data, whatever I have received, as an integer, then what should we do? So I think last session we were discussing about it, right? So if it is string and if you want to convert it to integer, what do we do? Asta, can you? Am I audible?
We typecast the
Okay.
string to integer.
Okay. We typecast the string to integer. How?
Int of like that variable.
Yes. Yes. Int of. So I want this to be converted to integer. So I can enclose, this is called as enclosing the function. So always what happens is it's similar, same like maths. Okay. So same like maths, where the innermost bracket will be executed first and then the outermost. So first it will take the input from the user, and before that, first it's going to show you the prompt, then it's going to take the input from the user, and the input is going to be substituted over here, and then your int conversion of data type happens. Okay, so now let me say, let us print the data type for this now. Okay, so print of type of age. Now, and I give the age as 10. Okay, can you see now the data type is shown as int? Okay, so this is how we typecast the values, whatever we receive. Okay. So this is the basics about input output statements. And coming to the keywords, okay, so we were saying that true or false is going to be a keyword in Python. Okay, so we have so many keywords in Python. So these are all the list of it. Okay, so you have value keywords. Value keywords are where we use it as a value. So true, false, none. So none is nothing. So there is a data type called none type. So when you assign any variable to none, so it is of none type. Okay, it's not int, it's not string, it's not bool, nothing. It's none type. Okay. So wherever you want to say that the value is missing, or you want to say that it's not going to hold any value. So in those cases, we use this none. Okay, it's a missing value. And you have operator keywords and, or, not, in, is. So why we should be aware of these keywords is these keywords should not be used as variable names. Okay. So and these keywords has a special meaning in Python. Okay. And control flow keywords, when you take, we have if, else, elif, for, while, break, all these are the keywords. And function class keywords, define, return, lambda, yield, class. And so we'll be learning one after the other whenever we are going on with the topics. And then we have context management with as import modules, scope and namespace keywords. That is global, non-local. So one thing you have to remember for now is you should not use these names as variable names. Okay. So if suppose if you want to if you are if for example you forgot these keywords, so when you're creating the variable, if you want to confirm whether the variable name which I'm going to which I have thought of is a keyword or not, so I should just refer the keywords in Python, right? So for that we can use the print statement with keyword.kw list. Okay, this keyword.kw list will give you the list of keywords in Python. Okay, so let me say print keyword.kw list. That is keyword list. I think keywords. In my version, it's not working. One second, let me check on online. Oh, sorry. One thing I forgot. Sorry to mention you. Actually, you need to. This keyword um, is a module. Okay. So we need to first thing is import that module. Okay. Import. You need to say keyword. Okay. After importing the module, you can use this line of code. Okay. See, now you're able to see it. So you can see the list of keywords available. Okay. So false, none, true, and as, all these are the keywords. So what you can do is you can just refer these keywords when and where needed by first importing this module. So why do we have to import this module is, so when you take print, input, okay, true, false, all these when you take it. So these are all available in the standard module. So you don't have to include anything for writing these code. But we have specific, or it's like a library. Okay, it's like a library, we can say. So when you want to refer anything else beyond this standard module, we have to take that book and we have to refer, right? So in the same way, these modules will also has to be imported. Okay. And again, we'll see what is a module and how to create modules and how to work with the existing modules, all these in detail in later sessions. Okay. As of now, when you want to use this keyword.kw list, you have to import this keyword module, and then you have to, you can print the keyword list. Okay. Fine. Any doubts? Next is we're going to discuss about the operators. Okay, so we were discussing about variables, we were discussing about the keywords. Next is we're going to discuss about the operators. So when you take it as operators in Python, we have so many types of operators. So we have arithmetic operators, relational operators, logical operators, bitwise, and assignment operators. Okay. So actually, for converting the data type, or for no, taking the input output, we have print functions. Okay, but why for this arithmetic operations and relational operators or logical things, all these, why it is given as keywords? Can anybody guess why it's not given as function? Why they have not given it as function? Like for example, if I say add of 10 comma 20, okay, Why they have not created in this form? Instead of that, they have given plus. Any guess? Quickly? No guesses? Srini, can you try?
When maybe they're like to avoid the using the keywords like add and a regular uh, as other variables and just use these operators as a ASCII character or something.
Yes, correct. Uh, but any other reason? Any other reason anybody have? Yes, correct. Instead of using the keywords, we are using these operators. But our question is like why it's not given as keywords and why it is given as operators, plus, minus, divide. Very
Not
simple. We are using it from our childhood, right? So if anybody asks you to no add two numbers, so generally we write it as 10 plus 20, right? So to make the programmers feel comfortable with what they have already been using it, actually these both are same. Actually there is a logic behind this plus. So it is doing some operation. It has some process. It has some code behind this plus operator also. Okay. So when you give plus, so internally there is some code which is working beyond this to make this value 10 and 20 get adds up. But why it is not given in this form is the reason is this is more simple for us, right? When we are writing our code. So that is why we have so many operators here. Okay. So when you take it as operators, when you take it as arithmetic operators, we have plus, minus, multiply, divide, that is double slash, which is floor division. Okay. What is this floor? I think you all know what is addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division, right? Okay. Anybody want me to explain that? Okay. So floor division is where the value, when you take it as division, let's try this. Say print 5 divided by 2. Okay, can you see it's printing 2.5, right? With decimal values. Now I say 5 double slash 2. See, it's giving you only 2, which means it is giving you only the uh, quotient as a whole number. Okay, so the decimal part is just excluded. Decimal part is not at all considered here. Okay, so it's the basic division method which we use. So it's not going to give you any decimal values. Okay. Uh, so here, let's say, can you give some real-time examples for this? Any real-time examples where you have come across like it's taking only the floor value? Any guesses?
Yeah, we can take the currency value also sometimes like
Mm-mm,
$50, 25 cents, just round up to the.
mm-mm. Yes, exactly. So like if when we are making some payments, okay. So instead of in some shops or in some supermarkets, so we they might not take the changes. Okay. So in those cases, what you can do is you can take it in that way. Or like for example, let's say for example, you have a basket of fruits. Okay. Now, so let's say the vendor is saying hey, this much amount of this much percentage of fruits is spoiled. So now, if I'm going to make a calculation, okay, so if it is going to give me in case of 7.2 or 7.3 as my percentage answer. So 7.3 fruits we cannot consider, right? So it's going to be rounded to 7 only. Am I right? So, or if suppose if you want some values to be evenly distributed, so in those cases and all, we go in for this floor division, okay, or time calculations, okay. So time calculation with seconds or grouping people, okay, for grouping people. So all these are some of the examples where we go in for this floor division. And percentages, it gives you the, it is called as modulo operator. Okay. So what is this modulus operator is? It gives you the reminder. Okay. So instead of the quotient, let me say print 5 modulus of 2. So this is giving me 1. So where this is the reminder. Okay. If you want to find out the reminder, you can go in for this modulus operator. And double asterisk is where it's going to give you the power. Okay. So if I want to print a number, I want to say 5 raised to the power of 3. Okay. Can you tell me the answer quickly? Can you
125.
type it in chat? Okay. Yes. Okay. So 5 raised to the power of 3. So this is how the operators work. Okay. So we have other operators also. We'll discuss about it in our next session. Okay. So hope I'm clear about the concepts which we were discussing today. Are you all clear? If clear, you can give a thumbs up. Okay. So today we don't have time to have a quiz session on today's session. But anyway, from today onwards, you'll be getting your assignments also. Okay. So on the topics. And next session, we'll have a quiz and the all the question part, everything we'll have it in our next session. Okay. Thank you all.
When is the next session? Tomorrow? Or?
I think the team will contact you regarding that. I'm not sure.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you.